Hello everybody, welcome to another Let's Draw. For today, I'm going to actually just work on some gesture sketches. I have an idea of a painting that I want to do, but first I need to explore some sketches, some gestures, some poses, until I find one that really suits the need of the painting. So today what I'm going to be sketching out is a character from one of my favorite video games of all time. It is actually Locke from Final Fantasy VI. Now, if you're a youngin', you probably don't know this game, but I highly recommend it. It's one of the best stories told in video game format. So go ahead and check it out. So, this is Locke. He's a thief. He's got a very interesting design, although he prefers to be called a treasure hunter. And so he's actually one of the first characters that we meet in Final Fantasy VI, so he's right there pretty much from the start. That was my cat. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at some quotes just to get us a better idea of the personality of the character. One of the quotes that I really like from him is this one right here. I prefer the term treasure hunter. And so, we're going to use this as kind of a theme for the drawing. And my kitty's going crazy. Hopefully she won't knock over anything on my desk. Kitty, get down. There she goes. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off just by looking at some of these designs. This is by Yoshitaka Amano, the original designer for the characters in the Final Fantasy series, and I absolutely love his artwork. If you haven't seen any of his stuff before, I highly recommend it. Yoshitaka Amano. So Google it. And so I just kind of scrubbed through here just to find a few different examples of Kitty, sit down. A few different examples of just illustration styles. I can take a look at his game sprites just to kind of get an idea. And you can see he's a very simple character in the game, but in the actual illustrations by Amano, he has a lot more detail. There's a lot more going on. It's a lot more colorful. Obviously, because it was back in the 16-bit era, all these things couldn't be implemented. But you can actually tell that they kind of kept a very simple idea. The vest, the jacket, the pants, the headband, although they kind of gave him a headband that kind of goes around the head instead of over and covers it. So where did we go? Let's take a look at this one. So with this one you can see a little bit more of the personality. He's just kind of a laid-back treasure hunter. He's got a funny attitude in the game, so I really like that about his character. Let's see, is there anything else that we could use? So take a look at this one. This one has a little bit more definition to him. It's not quite as expressive as Yoshitaka's work. But you can actually tell from this one what his forms are, how he's defined, and you can actually see he's I really kind of don't like this sketch because it's kind of a little bit flat. He's just kind of standing there posing for a picture. But I don't want to paint something like that. I want to paint something a little bit more dynamic, just kind of an in-action shot. So, let's go ahead and go back to our art program. Today I'm going to be checking out Paint Tool Sci just to make our illustrations. And then I'm going to be using this to actually paint the painting as well. And I haven't used this program too much before, so it'll be a learning experience for everybody. So let's see. So I've got my canvas, I've got it set to 75% right now, just because I want to be able to see the whole thing, just kind of fill up the page with some sketches. So let's start out. I am thinking about actually giving him a little bit of an action pose, and he's going to be kind of holding some coins, or kind of tossing some coins in the air. As he says, I prefer to be called treasure hunter. So I'm going to be quiet while I draw these just because it requires a little bit of concentration on my part. So, here we go. Let's start. And so as you can tell, I'm just working very loosely just to get the general gesture of the drawing down. I really am not paying attention to detail. I'm just getting some ideas on here. So in this one, he's just kind of jumping up. Although with the coins kind of sitting in the air like this, it just kind of looks like he might be reclining on something. And so that's another possible thing as well. It's not a flat drawing. We've got this line of action. So whenever you're drawing, I always recommend starting out with a line of action, just a line that kind of defines the entire figure. And you don't have to start it off right away like that. If you want, you can kind of start getting in some of the forms in there, but always keeping in mind where that line of action is going to go. And so we could get something like this. Maybe he's sitting on some broken down machinery or a tree trunk or something there. So that's an idea. Let's go ahead and select this. Let's see, transform it, make it a bit smaller, hold shift to keep the same proportions, and I'm just going to put it off to the side as a maybe. Let's deselect. Okay, let's see, let's try something else. Oops, I do not have my pencil selected. Maybe he's got a bag of coins this time. Anyways, for this one, I'm kind of thinking about putting most of the weight on this leg, as you can tell. We've got this line of action here. It curves around this way. And then he's going to kind of have... can't talk today. He kind of has his head tilted over to the left. Stage left, or camera left, however you want to call it. And he's kind of resting a little bit of his weight on this leg. So this is a little bit, again, more of a kind of a posy pose. He's just kind of posing for the camera. So let's see if we can't find something else. So I'm gonna again lasso this. I wonder what this shortcut is. Let's just go ahead and select it. Control T to transform, Shift, and scale. Let's put it over here. Okay. Enter. Deselect. Control D. Alright, so let's see. What else could we do for this idea? Let me think. Oops. Did it again. Is it P? No, I know what the button to select the pencil is. Alright, so let's see. Okay, what about... Let's switch it up this time. Make him kind of coming over this way. Get some forms in here. Get a little bit of foreshortening here. Maybe this time, instead of throwing up the coin, he's kind of holding the coin bag. And he's kind of jumping or just kind of moving this direction. So let's get some forms in here for the legs. Just to kind of get us a better idea. here. So I like to make my explorations very loose, very gestural. What should we do with the other arm? I think he's gonna be holding his dagger. And if he's moving off in this direction, let's go ahead and fix this so that the thing is moving off the other direction. Hold E to erase. Maybe his headband kind of goes that way as well. And he's holding his dagger kind of down that way. We'll make it a little longer than it actually is. But you know what, we're taking some creative liberties with this. Okay, I kind of like this idea. But we'll keep looking for more. Let's put it down here. So really, when you're coming up with ideas, it's a good idea not to get committed to that very first design. You really don't want to go with that first one because there's so many more ideas that you could come up with. So you just want to keep going. You just want to keep exploring, and that's really the fun of it. Just kind of figuring out what it is that you actually want to have as your finished drawing or your finished idea, your finished design. And it really goes with anything creative: writing, drawing, painting, sculpting. Just explore. Just keep exploring. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be quiet for now, since you kind of have the general idea of what it is that I'm going to be doing, and I'm just going to make a few more sketches just to see if I can find anything that I like. So far this one over here is fun, but we'll keep making a few more just to get a few ideas. So one thing to keep in mind is the tilts of the waist, shoulders. That's not what I want to go with. Let's keep them kind of leaning this way. Maybe actually looking up like this. So the proportions at this point aren't going to be perfect. I'm just exploring the gesture, getting the essence of the drawing. So maybe here he could be talking to one of his teammates over here, just kind of saying it's not stealing, it's treasure hunting. Just kind of being goofy, being playful. Let's bring this in a bit more, like this. Don't be afraid to erase, explore, and then just keep painting, keep drawing. I actually like this one a lot too. So you can see I'm keeping in mind the forms, what I'm going to be doing with this, keeping in mind where I'm going to be building on, But really the focus of this exercise is just finding the emotion, the idea. This headband kind of coming down this way. And so let's make one more before we call it a day and start doing some more detailed explorations of the character. Okay. This one's a little bit too flat. Very flat. So something we could do, let's go ahead and move it really quickly. Select it, move it. We'll take something like this and we'll try to fix it. Try to make it a bit more dynamic. So for instance, instead of having the complete profile just like this, what if we take the hip and open it up a little bit, face it this way, so that the leg, instead of being over here, and kind of move this way. Let's get, again, really quickly, getting that gesture. And the other leg could remain kind of straight down like this, just to give them balance. And so that foot's facing this way. So again, most of the weight will be coming down to this foot, and he's either just turned into this pose, or he's turning away from this pose. And again, let's give the same treatment to the chest, the torso, the upper torso. So let's bring this hand down like this. Still a little bit flat. We'll get back to it in a second. Let's bring this one up the way we had that one. So in this example, he would kind of be really excited about whatever it is he took, and he's kind of admiring it. Maybe it's an elixir. There we go. Let's make it into something useful. Okay, so again, this is kind of coming down this way, all the way over here, this knee kind of lifting up, or this hip lifting up a bit. And we kind of want to balance it out over here, so let's bring this arm down a little bit. So he's standing not completely squared up, but a little bit more dynamic. There's a little bit of action going on within the pose itself. So to give us an idea of where that rib cage would be, we can do something like this. Get the front of it, the front bisecting line right through here. Let's work in red, just to give us a little bit of contrast. So our rib cage would be around here. Let's use a box for the pelvis. It would be around here. And so these are the things that you're thinking about whenever you're drawing on lines to suggest the forms, but you're not necessarily drawing them in. You can if you want to. It helps if you do it later on, just to kind of get an idea of where it is that these forms are going to end up sitting. And so, let's see, I'm not happy with this arm. Let's erase this part. Let's see. Let's maybe bring it out. Oops, still on eraser. Let's maybe bring it out. Let's use blue again. Bring it out a bit this way. Maybe he's really excited, so he kind of has it stretched out like that in anticipation. This might be a little bit of a feminine pose, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. He's just really excited about that treasure. Let's see, we can do something else with that arm. So he's lifting this elbow up. This one goes down a little bit. So he's right through here. Let's make that right in here. Again, we've got that up tilt there. Use another color. Got that up tilt there, that down tilt here, and we have this general line of action that kind of starts straight up from the foot, goes up like this, like that. And then we have our secondary lines that suggest the gesture, which would be our arms, hands included, by the way, and our other leg. Alright, so hopefully you get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to go ahead and end this video now, and the next time I'm going to go and actually start sketching in a little bit more of a finalized drawing. And I really like this one right here. This one, just because I probably gave this one the most thought, but I also really like the emotion expressed in this one so far. So I'm going to go with this one. And next time we'll start drawing a little bit more detail and getting the forms in and getting really the character the way that we want it. And we might actually do faces as well. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching. If you're liking these, don't forget to leave a like and a subscribe. That will help me out greatly. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll try to be of as much help as I can. I can't really comment too much as to perhaps software issues, but if you have any theoretical questions, things like that, I'll be able to help out a bit more. As I said, this is my first time using Paint Tool Sci, so this is a learning experience for both of us. Go ahead and leave a question if you do have them, though, about the software, and I'll try my best to figure it out. It is a learning experience for both of us. And my cat's going crazy, so I'm going to stop this video now. Thank you for watching.